A glorious scene at Canterbury for the final day of the 2023 cricket season. The sun was out, a perfect day for Kent supporters to catch their team in action for the last time this summer. It was day 4 of Kent's county championship match against Lancashire. A Kent victory seemed plausible for much of the day, but the match petered out into a draw soon after tea. And that's when the real drama began. For more than an hour, the players paced around the dressing room and nervously wandered onto their balcony. They were on edge as another match reached its closing stages. Would Middlesex beat Nottinghamshire and so doom Kent to relegation from Division 1? The tension mounted. Middlesex took 8 wickets, but Nottinghamshire slowly edged their target. Most Kent players were staring at their phones and laptops, but Kent's 4-day captain for the end of the season, Jack Leaning, couldn't watch. He sat on a nearby roof, trying to keep calm. The cheers and smiles signalled that Middlesex had lost and Kent would therefore be once again in Division 1 next season.
See you in Div 1 next year.
I couldn't really bring myself to watch it. I hate the unknown. I can deal with the good and the bad, but that bit in between, first of all, is pretty shambolic, really. I hate it. So luckily, Notts did us a little bit of a favour, and I thought we did ourselves a few favours over the last 3 games to pick up the points that we needed, and ultimately we kept ourselves up. It's not just Notts today, it's us over the course of a season. Yes, we don't want to be fighting down the bottom end next season, so hopefully we can build on that, but we're in Div 1 next year and we've got the opportunity to start afresh and fight our cause to push ourselves up the table.
It must have been pretty much agony for the players that last hour though, surely.
Yeah, but that's what makes sport so special. If it was so cut and dry and the best teams would always win and the worst teams would always lose, no one would ever watch it. And Championship cricket's really showed that this week. There's been results that you wouldn't expect, and there's been results that have caused a great deal of drama and quite a great deal of stress in various different dressing rooms around the country. So no, it shows that Championship cricket's still massively got its place in the cricketing spectrum. So hopefully we can add to that next year and push our way up the table.
Earlier in the day, there had been moments when Kent looked on course for a win that would have secured them a place in Division 1, whatever the result of matches elsewhere. But Kent just couldn't take the wickets they needed. None of the luck seemed to be going Kent's way. Frustration too for Indian international spin bowler Yuzvendra Chahal. He dropped this sharp chance off his own bowling. And another Kent spinner, Arun Nijar, also failed to find a way to finish off the Lancashire second innings. After tea, the game was clearly heading for a draw. Tawanda Muyeye came into the attack, but his spin also failed to get a wicket. Lancashire ended Canterbury's final innings of the season at 390 for 8. There were plenty of Kent supporters at the Canterbury Ground on the final day of the season. They explained to me why they enjoyed watching their team.
It's just a very nice day to come, sit and talk to people, watch cricket being played in traditional whites with the red ball. It's very relaxing and very pleasant.
Well, I've been watching cricket more or less all my life, I think. It's a very entertaining pastime. Us oldies like it, you know.
A few weeks later, batsman Daniel Bell-Drummond was named as Kent's 4-day captain for next season. It was a just reward for a great season with the bat. Daniel had topped the 2023 Kent batting averages, hitting a giant score of 300 not out in June. He's only the 3rd Kent batsman ever to reach a triple hundred. I spoke to Daniel about his career, but first asked about his reaction to his team's narrow escape from relegation in the county championship.
Yeah, just very relieved, to be honest. It's been a very tough year, a lot of injuries as well. We've held together as a squad. Hopefully we can battle harder next year.
And what would you say to supporters then who may be wondering about another season following their team?
No, just keep supporting us. There'll obviously be good and bad days, but no, we're giving 110%. We were in Division 2 for the first 6 or 7 years of my professional career, and we've managed to stay in Division 1. No, at the end of the day, look at some of the teams above us, massive budgets, test grounds. I think we're still doing quite well. Sometimes the cricket, I get it, we're getting beat by an innings at times, but our main goal is to be in Division 1 playing against the best, and that's what we're doing.
You've scored some fantastic innings through the year. What would you say your highlights were through the year of cricket?
Definitely that week in June, personally for me, getting 100 in the Blast here and then a triple 100 at Northants.
Just remind me, what an achievement was that, getting to 300, getting to that score? How many Kent players have ever done it?
Yeah, it was a great day. I think 2 others have done it. One of them's my best friend, ironically, Sean Dixon. But yeah, it was a crazy few days actually. I was definitely in the zone, lovely wicket as well. And I never thought I was waking up to score a triple, but no, I was glad to do it. And yeah, definitely a lot of hard work gone into that, and hopefully I can, who knows, maybe get another one in my career.
And just tell us a bit more about your journey into that place, as playing first class cricket, getting 300. How did your dream of being a Kent player start?
Yeah, so my dad played. My parents are both Jamaican, so yeah, grew up massive fans of England and the West Indies. I used to go to my dad's local games and just grew up playing on the side of the pitch, to be honest.
And where was that?
Catford Wanderers in Lewisham. And it grew from there. I was happy to get a scholarship to Milford School and great support from my parents. And
that was already on the quality of your cricket, was it, part?
Yes, all on the cricket really. And hard work from my parents. And yeah, I've always been in the Kent system since 7-8 years old. Been playing Kent under 10s. And then I was able to get a contract here in my last year at school, just turned 17. Debuted in 2011 when I was 17, and then it's been a great journey. I'm only 30. I've played quite a few years, but hopefully I've got a lot more still to come, and I've enjoyed every minute of playing for Kent, and hopefully there's a lot more to come.
And there's some concern that younger people these days aren't as interested in cricket, particularly county cricket, following county cricket.
We've got to be realistic. It is what it is. Like, things do change, but at the end of the day, there's so much history here. Especially being from Kent, it means everything to me. But I know, being amongst this Kent fraternity, how much I love it and how enjoyable the cricket is. And I see the fans in the Blast games, especially 5,000-6,000 turn up here, and nothing beats it, to be honest. Especially being, like I say, a Kent person, and the smiles and on the faces you see from other Kent people. So no, it means everything, and hopefully the next generation will take that on board. But yeah, there's so much to love about county cricket.
Kent only managed to win 2 games out of 14 in the county championship in 2023, which is the traditional format of the game, played over 4 days with a red ball. But there have been positives for the club through the year that bode well for the future, according to club coach Matt Walker.
Can I just ask, what the best achievement, the positive achievements of the past year? Which player are you most pleased that you've managed to get more out of than you hoped?
I think the emergence of Tawanda has been a real highlight for me. Has had a taste of it since he's joined the club, and sometimes a little bit by default. He's played because of injury or what have you, and we obviously know the talent he had. That's why we signed him.
Give me a bit of his backstory.
So, Zimbabwean refugee, and came over. His mum and sister were already in the country. Came over, went to school at Eastbourne College. A lot of complications around visa, and trying to keep him in the country was a big step, which we did a lot of work to do. We got him up and really wanted to sort of sign him. Not so interested, as was Sussex. But came to us with enormously prodigious schoolboy talent, but didn't really work out for him in those first couple of years. And for some that might have been a surprise, not necessarily for me, but you see it a lot. It's taken a bit longer. But this year he started the second team and scored 400s. He understood. He's starting to understand his game more. He earned the right almost to get in the side through his runs in the second team, and then when he did come in the side, he was ready because he scored a lot of runs. And I think to see him at the top of the order and develop, and he's still raw and he's still learning the game and learning how to bat in different situations, in difficult situations, against spin, etc. But I think he's shown some real class, and T20 especially. He's a really exciting player. Picked up in the 100 on the basis of what he did in the T20. And certainly, hopefully, his development keeps improving. But he's been great, and I think Harry Finch as well. Finchy's sort of, he's had a really interesting journey. Played at Sussex, didn't quite work out. Came out of the game for a bit, but he hung on, and he came back and played some more second team cricket for us this year. A great human being. Boys love him. Sort of player you really want on your squad, and he's found his way in the team. And again, good start of the year in the second team. And worked really hard at his keeping. He's not a natural keeper. He hasn't done it a huge amount, but since the start of the year, he's identified that that's what he wants to do, and he's got better and better and better. And his keeping's improved, and the runs he's scored has been really valuable. I think, the last 3 games, he's contributed all of them in some way. Brilliant. Some really strong performances. Brilliant 100 at Notts, and I know there's someone that you feel really proud of and really pleased for, because it's not been a straight line for him at all. He had some real rocks in the road, and he's got round them, and he's now playing and actually really belongs here. And I think he's really come on. So I think those two really stand out for me.
I asked Kent Cricket's chief executive Simon Storey first about his reaction to Kent's survival in the top tier of county cricket.
Relieved, but also really pleased. The last few games, we've just had to dig deep. I'm delighted for the guys in the dressing room.
There are concerns that cricket among young people is not as well followed as it was. What efforts have succeeded in the last few years about trying to rebuild the old Kent loyalty amongst young people in Kent?
Well, I think the game itself is in probably better health than it's been in several decades. We do have some challenges in the game to become a much more kind of accessible and welcoming game. Whether it's gender, whether it's age, whether it's geography, whether it's race and ethnicity, it's making sure that the game is a game for everybody. Obviously, the fastest growing segment at the moment is women's cricket. It's just fantastic to see that. And something like next year's T20, which comes here in July at Canterbury, 11th of July, we've got the England Women's T20. What a terrific opportunity to just get the next generation involved.
One issue for people in West Kent is that Canterbury, you've invested a lot of money in the ground, it's looking fantastic, but the investment has gone in to East Kent, and for people in West Kent who used to manage to get to matches at Tunbridge Wells or bring their children to Maidstone or even Dartford, those opportunities don't exist anymore. Are you looking at anywhere in West Kent to return to?
The increasing standards that we're required to provide as county cricket clubs means that the outground cricket as we know it is really challenged. And we have a second ground at Beckenham as well, which we've had significant investment in. So we love going to Tunbridge Wells, and I think if you talk to any of the players, they enjoy playing there. And it's fair to say that we still see a return to West Kent as defined as kind of the Tunbridge Wells as something that we'd like to do, but it's not something that yet we can commit to. We have to look at the fixture schedules. We've got a really good relationship with Tunbridge Wells Borough Council and a good relationship with Tunbridge Wells Cricket Club. Well, we are continuing to remain in close contact as we look forward, and whether it's next year or the season after, it would be great to get back there for some matches.
So would you rule out going back next May, seeing the rhododendrons there out for a game with all the tents and hospitality?
The likely schedule next year will mean that the only cricket played broadly in May, for example, when the rhododendrons are out, is likely to be Championship cricket. And actually producing a 4-day cricket pitch is hugely challenging. I think most likely in due course and when the fixtures allow, I think the return to Tunbridge Wells would be with the white ball game, with a 50-over game. It's really important that we can take cricket around the county if we can. So probably the rhododendrons in May in a Championship game is going to be more of a stretch, but I'd like to think that at some point we will return to Tunbridge Wells.
One man from West Kent has the job of reporting on every ball of every home match for Kent. He's Fred Atkins of the official ECB Reporters Network. I also spoke to him at the end of the nail-biting final day of the season.
Well, I think anybody that thinks cricket is dull need only have spent sort of final session here this afternoon, because, basically, if I'd had any beta blockers, I would have taken them. It can get very tense, even for people, you're supposed to be neutral, but you can't follow a team all year and not have some sort of emotional investment in it.
Just tell us about this ground that we're standing in at the moment.
You've got so many sort of different areas where you can watch, areas where it's a bit more staid, some areas where it's a bit more relaxed. It's just a very nice, pleasant way. And after you've been here for a while, you do get to recognise the same faces, and there's a bit of a sense of community about it here as well.